Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I appreciate the gentlelady from North Carolina yielding me this time. We are here today to talk about a rule that will qualify certain amendments to solve a procedural problem, a mistake that the majority party made in here. But why not use this rule as an opportunity to something really more to help solve and resolve ongoing problems? If one could look at the far map I have of the United States over there, everything that is in red is land and property owned by the federal government. Ronald Reagan looked at that and said, you never see something like that this side of the old Soviet Union. Think about that. 1 out of every 3 acres of this country is owned and controlled by the federal government. And I hate to say this, but in 2007, OMB did a study and said that of that, $18 billion worth of that property is excess. It is useless. It is needless. This year, Peter Ozak updated that report and said there are 14,000 buildings that the federal government owns that are excess, and 55,000 buildings that are underutilized and not necessary. When I first came here, the Washington Post did an editorial that said, until the District of Columbia can get hold of all the excess land and buildings owned by the federal government and put those to economic use, the economy of the Washington, D.C. would never grow. Those of us in the West have been saying that for a long time. In fact, this year I introduced 2 land transfer bills. In each bill, both the Forest Service and the BLM, as well as the Army Corps of Engineers, owned land that they did not use, they did not need, they didn't even know about it. One parcel of land was sold to the federal government in the 1940s for $1, and the Forest Service did not know they had that land. The local officials understood that this land is useless and these buildings are useless, and thus they are put to some kind of profitable need. The D.C. bureaucrats, though, said their policy is no net loss of land or real estate. In fact, the only way they will give up something is if they get more in return. That is pure insanity. Use this rule to go against the excesses of land and the excess buildings that we have so that we can send a true message to the business community and the money lenders who have money to invest in this economy that we really are serious about the debt by taking all the excess and using it to pay down the debt, that we are serious about building a business climate here that will encourage people to invest in this company, and do that first by saying we will retire our excess property and use it to build down and take down this debt. I yield back to the gentlelady.